because if you have voids, then you have the risk of corrosion.
That's correct.
Location where you have the void, even if you use wax.
Right. Even like the state of Florida, actually, we this is the most corrosive state, probably, as far as because of the way how is our state located. We have surrounded by shore and sea, you know, it's a marine environment, and then bounded actually with high humidity. Our humidity is very high. So that's why that if you have unprotected strand, so our tendon is going to be corrode very quickly here in Florida.
Very good. Well,
any other question? So it's quiet, huh?
That's okay. If anyone requires any information or if they have questions about corrosion or durability of reinforced concrete structures, I will share the presentation file, which is only about post-tensioning, but maybe your problems are about other types of structures that are having corrosion problems, and that's fine. Be happy to help out. I'll make sure that my contact information is with the file, and feel free to.
Can you share what kind of activity or project that you are working in Indonesia?
Okay.
Materi aku nggak ngerti, memang kita itu aku nggak ngelakuin, tapi di komu enggak, empat kali aja, lu kan 14 toh? Iya lupa. Ya memang. Lupa. Aku sudah jualan metu gitu, mau ambil laki komplek.
I think Lani Maruta.
Yes.
I think you need to mute your mic, because we can hear all you're saying.
No problem. Yeah, we can tell you a few things. One of my colleagues, Matt, is on the call. Also, one of his colleagues, Pri, is there. We've done some inspection on bridges, including the Suramadu bridge that I showed, as well as Cable Stay Bridge up in Batam, and some ports. But the main location where Matt has been working is at Batu Hijau. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that exactly properly, but in Sumbawa. And maybe Matt, you can explain all the different types of corrosion and restoration work that you've been doing there. Oh, I think he is frozen. You still there? Well,
Jack in Batam and Suramadu. What?
Sorry, am I back?
You're back, Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead, Pat. We cannot hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm using my hotspot on my phone, and somebody's calling me. So, yeah. So most of the work we've been doing has been in the mine, and at the Newmont mine in Sumbawa, Batu Hijau, and also one of the Agincourt mine in Sumatra, Marta Bay, and also in Maluku at PT Nusa Halmahera Minerals. So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, most of our work has been initially with the concrete, so doing cathodic protection installation, electrochemical chloride extraction, structural surveys and corrosion surveys, and carbon fiber strengthening. So we've done a lot of work strengthening concrete structures with carbon fiber. Mainly that. At the moment, we're also involved in a lot of steel structure work, but that's not really part of this presentation here. So yeah, in terms of the concrete work, structural strengthening, surveys, cathodic protection, electrochemical chloride extraction, and Dave, you may have some other comments on that, but that's yeah, epoxy injection, basically just general concrete restoration sort of work. So we're completely set up to do all of that.
Well, and I think you're doing a lot of steel corrosion repairs there as well. I mean, obviously we're talking specifically about grouted post-tension bridges in this presentation, but the work that you're doing, they're doing a lot of steel repairs, some corrosion protection for steel structures, some partial replacement of conveyors and structural steel members in the mill. I know I was talking to you a couple of weeks ago. You're doing some work on some tank repairs where the tanks are corroded, and they're doing the repairs and fabricating the materials required for the repairs in our facility in Samboa. The cathodic protection materials for corrosion protection are mostly made in Canada and the UK, and they're shipped to Indonesia the same as we ship to other countries. But the local work in terms of the basic concrete repairs and injection work and grouting and carbon fiber strengthening, like Matt was saying, those are done with local crews at each of the project locations. In this case, during COVID, you've been primarily stuck in quarantine in or outside the mine.
Wow.
I'm in quarantine at the moment for 14 days.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody has any contacts over this way and need help with anything, we're completely set up to offer the same types of services as Dave is there in Canada and the US. So we can share contact details, and also our partner over here, Priyandita Widianto, is also on this meeting, so we can share his contact details afterwards.
Good. Okay, any other questions?
I got one other thing in the chat here from Arif, and I agree. He's saying that he thinks in Indonesia that there's an urgent need for evaluation of tendons in all types of girders, including old girders and even relatively new girders, not only for box girders, but traditional things like concrete I girders, U girders, T girders. I agree that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true in Indonesia. It's true here in Canada and the US. I've gone to see some of those kind of structures, a few of those structures in Indonesia, only a very few. Some of them have been bridges, and most of them have some problems. Some of them have been marine structures, and I think I can say every marine structure that I went and did inspection work on in Indonesia either with Matt or with our other local partner there, Taufik, they are, well, some of them are old and they have a lot of chloride corrosion because of the marine environment. And there's many ferry terminals and marine structures like that are suffering from chloride-induced corrosion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have not done probably you know, I agree. They have to do a major inspection.
Yeah, some places have not done major inspection, but you know, everywhere has these problems. These problems are not unique to Indonesia. They're not unique to the U.S. We do work in the Middle East, and honestly, I would say the Middle East is, or Indonesia, it's very severe environment, and people in many of these locations don't really have mentality about maintenance. They have a mentality about maintenance, about building, and then they assume that everything should do some kind of evaluation over time. Otherwise, the problems become so big that it's more difficult to repair later on.
In the U.S., you know, we inspected our bridge every 2 years.
I don't know what the regulations are in Indonesia, but yeah. I see P.Eng is sending in the chat. He's given his mobile number. I see his mobile number, and and he's saying that to schedule an inspection. Anyway, you're welcome to do that there. You're certainly welcome to do that in North America. If you're in Europe, I don't think anyone on the call is from Europe, but if you're in Europe in the middle of the night, we have an office in the UK that deals with Europe as well. So anyway.
There's another question here. Did you read that?
I see someone said in Norway, so if someone's in Norway, I apologize. It's very late for you.
There are other questions, David.
Originally, yes, it says here, what can we do for existing wharf at Tanjung Priok, which is 40 years old? Should we check the corrosion of the concrete to know the existing capacity of the structure? If it's 40 years old, you should probably do some inspection to see what's going on inside the concrete. Because if it's in a marine environment for 40 years, I think it's important to determine if the chlorides have got to the steel. It's important to determine what is the actual concrete cover over the steel. And with that information, you can get not only an idea about its current condition, but you can also make a good prediction about its durability in the future. A lot of times people waste a lot of money either going and doing repairs without understanding the full scope of the problem, and they end up wasting all of their money because they're not really fixing what is behind the problem. And so the reason to do investigation or evaluation is to determine what is behind the problem that you see, and to determine if it is localized to the areas where you see problems or if it is more widespread. Because if the problem is more widespread than what you see, simply going and fixing what you see is probably almost 100% waste of money. And it's important to make sure you deal with it. So I would highly suggest in that case, if you have a structure that old and you're looking at doing some engineering on it, you should look at the existing condition and make an idea about the durability. So yeah, you could definitely do that. yeah, so another comment here about steel structure, which has corrosion, can be retrofitted with steel jacketing, I think. And definitely that is one approach that can be done to retrofit steel structures. So if you have steel columns or steel beams, you may be able to retrofit them by steel jacketing. You may want to, another option would be steel jacketing with concrete infill between the old and the new steel. And in some cases, it might be highly recommended to put some cathodic protection into the steel jacketing so that you don't have the same problem in a few years. But yeah, that's definitely an option. And there are examples. I know Matt has done a couple of examples like that in Indonesia, and certainly in North America, that's fine. Okay, and the last one here is mobile, and then we've got Wayu. Wayu is Norway, so maybe is in Norway is or someone. Yeah. Maybe they have some questions. Does this phenomenon explain why in the US they still prefer to use pre-tension monolithic girders rather than segmental post-tension girders, especially for spans less than 40 meters? Well, I think for spans less than 40 meters, if you can do it with one precast piece that is already finished when it's delivered to the job site, it's probably more economical for the owner. It's probably more economical for the contractor. That's probably the main reason, is economics.
That's correct. Yeah.
If you have spans that are longer than you can do that, then you either have to look at doing splice girders like the Wonderwood Bridge example, where you take precast girder segments and post-tension them together, or you have to look at segmental precast segmental bridges, where you can have much longer spans, but you have more complexity in the construction, and you need obviously to post-tension those on site. But I can't remember Suramadu Bridge, but in Suramadu Bridge, I know the main spans were cable stay spans. But I think the approach spans on that bridge are segmental precast, if I remember.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think they are. I think they're segmental precast there. So it's also saying here in Indonesia, even for 16 meters span, they do segmental post-tension. Well, yeah, it's possible. It's definitely possible to do that. It's probably not done here very much because of the cost of labor. It would probably just make the whole thing too expensive, but technically you could definitely do that. And if you already have the forms and everything set up to do segmental construction, and you have a launching system to launch the segmental, then that should be okay.
I would add
most. Yeah, go ahead.
Question. In selected segmental bridge, if you have enough quantity, so if you have only a few span of bridges, that is not going to be economical, because you need to set up a casting yard to produce this segment. So you need to have at least typically 500 segments to be able to call it economical.
Okay, no, that's certainly you don't. Yeah, unless you're right beside where they already made one or something, you make a few extra segments. But yeah, for here anything that would be I would say anything here that would be less than probably close to 25 meters is probably being done with straight precast, pre-stressed precast.
There's another question.
Nanotechnology. Is it possible to use nanotechnology for the strand corrosion resistance? Who knows? Maybe it is. If in terms of corrosion resistant strand, I'm not sure if there's anything nanotechnology that is available, but certainly there are corrosion resistant strand that is available. It's more expensive than normal strand, but you can get stainless steel strand. It is available commercially. It has certain limitations. It doesn't have the same, the modulus is lower, and its ultimate stress that you can stress it to is lower than conventional post-tensioning strand, but it is very corrosion resistant. That's one option. Another corrosion resistant option that's out there is there's carbon fiber strand available. It has good corrosion resistance also. There are some difficulties in using the carbon fiber strand because it's very difficult to do the anchorages with it, but for certain precast applications, that may be possible to use. So there are corrosion resistant strand available in the market. The price is higher. The properties are maybe not as good for some things, but it is available if you want it. The other option is to just do good quality control of your installation, because if you do good quality control of your installation, and I think if you want to spend more money to make sure you have a good job, I would spend it on QA and QC of the actual job, so that when you turn it over to the owner, it doesn't have built-in defects. It's going to last a long time.
All right. Is there any more question? Because we already read, actually now is 9:35.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's no more question.
Maybe we need to take picture.
Yeah, so, okay. Who can take the picture? First, I would like to thank you to David, actually, for spending time with us, David.
Thank you, Teddy.
We appreciate
Thank you, David.
it.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you. A big applause for David.
Oh, well, thank you. I bow to you. If we can help with anything in the future, please feel free to contact us. Otherwise, I hope the information was useful and that it was worth your time to attend the presentation today. So thank you all for your time.
I think, David, if you stop sharing,
Thank you.
if you can stop sharing, and then everybody can start their video.
There we go.
Okay.
Then
Yeah, everybody, turn on your video. Don't leave us. Let us take some photo as usual. Oh, that's one. There are two pages here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Hold on. Open. One here. There are two pages here. Okay.
you're taking the picture, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the picture, but I need to get the second one here. So hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. There are two pages here.
Patient Matt has been jumping is at
Sorry, where is it? This is 222. Okay, one more.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Sorry.
you.
Thank you for everyone for attending our seminar.
Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Have a good day in Indonesia, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
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 Bye.